Welcome back to the Business and AI podcast, where we explore how AI is reshaping industries, economies, and societies. In today's episode, we are going to take a deep dive into Chapter 8 of Competing in the Age of AI by Marco Iansidi and Karim Lakhani. This chapter it's titled The Ethics of Digital Scale, Scope, and Learning. And it tackles the ethical challenges that arise as AI driven firms scale their influence. We'll be covering algorithmic bias, privacy concerns, and data security. So, first off, why does ethics matter in the age of AI? The authors emphasize that the growth of AI powered companies introduces new ethical risk. As these firms accumulate vast influence, they face mounting responsibilities regarding privacy, data security, and fairness. The chapter frames ethics as a critical component of leadership in the AI age, with leaders needing to prioritize ethical governance and long term impacts on the society. Algorithmic bias arises when AI systems unintentionally perpetuate inequalities. The authors highlight cases like hiring algorithms that favor certain demographics or facial recognition softwares that misidentifies individuals based on skin color. Then they propose a multi-pronged approach to addressing bias, which includes transparency in algorithmic decision making, audits by independent third parties to detect bias, and inclusive data sets that help minimize unintentional discrimination. The chapter also discusses the dual risk of data breaches and intrusive surveillance. AI driven firms often rely on vast amounts of user data, raising concerns over privacy and consent. Companies like Facebook and Google have faced criticisms for their data practices, underscoring the need for stronger data governance and user centered privacy policies. The authors suggest that firms adopt stricter frameworks for data collection and usage, allowing users to maintain control over their data. They emphasize two primary risks. The first one, data breaches, which can erode trust, and the second one, surveillance, where excessive data collection threatens personal freedoms. Now, let's take a look at platform power and market influence. AI platforms such as Google, Amazon, and Facebook have unparalleled influence over their industries. Their dominance raises questions about monopolistic practices and limited choices for customers. The authors argue that regulatory interventions and self regulation to prevent platforms from using their power to stifle competition. They suggest transparent algorithms as a potential solution to mitigate these concerns. In the area of equity and inclusion in the AI economy, the authors address the risk that AI could exacerbate economic inequality. Automation threatens certain jobs, and certain communities may be disproportionately affected. They call for reskilling programs which would help workers transition to AI driven roles, inclusive growth models to ensure AI benefits are shared broadly, and public private partnerships to mitigate AI social impacts. Now, let's take a case study from Facebook's ethical dilemmas. The authors examine Facebook as an example of a platform that exemplifies both the benefits and the ethical dilemmas of AI at scale. While Facebook connects billions as it faces criticisms for spreading misinformation and violating privacy, the authors suggest that companies like Facebook need to improve content moderation, increase transparency around data politics, and collaborate with stakeholders to address ethical challenges. On building ethical AI governance models, the chapter concludes by recommending an ethical governance framework with ethical guidelines for responsible AI use, AI ethics board for independent oversight, stakeholder engagement to include inputs from civil society and government, and then continuous monitoring to adapt practices as AI evolves. Now let's take a critical look at this chapter, what works and what we need to criticize. The chapter's thorough approach to AI ethics is its biggest strength, if you ask me. The authors provide clear, multifaceted recommendations on pressing ethical concerns like algorithmic bias, privacy, and the balance of power in digital platforms. Their multi-pronged solution, transparency audit, and diverse data sets shows an awareness of the complexities of the problems in AI. The authors also succeed in framing these ethical challenges as central to leadership in the digital area, giving the chapter a clear call to action for today's business leaders. Using Facebook as a case study makes the discussion tangible and relevant, illustrating how ethical decisions impact real-world users. However, some recommendations could benefit from more practical details. For example, transparency in AI algorithm. What does that even mean? It is easier said than done, especially in complex systems where even developers struggle to explain decision-making processes. Moreover, AI is seen as a black box. So how do you explain a black box if you don't know the processes it has taken the AI to arrive at its decision? So the authors talked about it trivially. Also, similarly, while independent audits sound promising, the logistics like who would perform them and under what standards are not fully addressed. The author's call for ethical foresight is valuable, yet they don't fully explore the cultural changes needed for companies to adopt this approach. Ethical AI requires deep structural change, not just policy shifts, and the chapter could provide more guidance on this transformation. The chapter's themes are undeniably relevant in today's world, where AI influences everything from job markets to daily life. As AI continues to spread, companies can't afford to ignore the potential ethical pitfalls. For leaders and professionals, this chapter underscores the importance of embedding ethical considerations early in AI development rather than just treating them as afterthoughts. The conversations around data privacy resonates with the ongoing debates about how companies handle user data. With rising awareness among consumers about data privacy, firms must balance customization with user control to build trust. So, how can we apply this insight? Let's think about that for a moment. For leaders and professionals, this chapter highlights the importance of proactive ethical planning. So, consider conducting regular audits of your AI systems to detect biases earlier on. Build a diverse team for data sourcing and algorithm development because this can help minimize unintended biases. Leaders can also explore partnership with third-party auditors or organizations specializing in AI ethics to bolster credibility. These are our questions today for reflection. Our reflection questions for today. The first one, think about it. Are there areas in your current operations where algorithmic bias may unintentionally be influencing decisions? That's the first question. And the second question, what steps can you take to ensure data privacy while still using data-driven insights? So we are going to stop there for today. This chapter we have explored almost everything on the ethical side of AI. And in the next chapter, we are going to continue with a new topic. The chapter 9 of this book is titled The New Meta. So I guess I'll see you in the next one. Please remember to subscribe.